Okay. Hello, everybody. Can you see me? Yes. Thumbs up, thumbs down. There is an emoji option on your, yeah, there we go. Thank you so much. I like a bit of interaction during the session. Uh, so yeah, I mean, and I'm expecting a few more people anyways, but I think I've got a lot to cover actually. So let's take a quick start. So first of all, thank you everybody for making the time on this Thursday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I know there are people from India and there are people from European subcontinent. So thank you so much, guys, for making the time. Hopefully you find this interesting and something that you can act upon. So we all love Excel and we all use Excel a lot for forecasting and things like that. So this is, I'm going to talk about Vena today, where we can use Vena for your forecasting solution, for your performance management in terms of reporting, and actually a lot of your other modeling stuff, things that you're doing in Vena in Excel today. Okay, before we begin, a quick round of introduction. So I am Tejas Parekh. Most of you have come from LinkedIn, so I'm assuming you've seen my LinkedIn profile. I have an MBA. I am a CIMA qualified chartered, a professional consultant, as well as I'm an Anaplan modeler, certified for the last 7 years now, and a Microsoft certified Power BI expert as well. I have a Vena certification. I have a Profit certification. I'm about to finish my Pigment second certification. So I've got quite a few technology certifications as well, essentially. From a work experience perspective, I've worked from in Nielsen, GE Healthcare, Vodafone, done centers of excellence at GE Healthcare, done board level reporting, and working with the CEO at Vodafone, built even a center of excellence at Nielsen, operational center of excellence at Nielsen. 2018 onwards is when I started this business. So we've been around also for now almost 7 years, essentially. And we've worked with a whole bunch of brands, big names like Xerox and Dixon's Carphone, to some reasonable sized businesses. We've been implementing EPM solutions for a very, very long time. Throughout this journey for the last 6-7 years, we've been doing EPM implementation. So I would like to think we know something about EPM, essentially. What is the agenda today? The agenda today is to understand why are we talking about EPM and FP&A solutions? Why? What is Vena? A demo. Just to give you a concept, a perspective, I did a prospect demo at around 3 o'clock UK time today. In 1 hour, I was barely able to cover like half of it. Okay, so I'm going to try and cram things in 30 minutes today, 35 minutes today. So I'm going to really rush through it. But please ask a whole lot of questions, because the more questions you ask, the more you will pick up stuff. So please do ask questions, because I think the more interactive it is, the more fun it is going to be. We have basically enabled mics for everybody, so you should be able to unmute yourself and ask questions, essentially. Okay, and then we have an unbeatable offer at the end of this conversation, which I think you should stick around for, because I have in last 7 years not seen such an offer in the EPM space so far. So I think if you can stick around till the end, it will be good for you, because the offer is really fantastic from Vena, essentially. So something to think about and something to reflect on. The problems that we are going to try and solve in today's demo cum presentation is forecasts take too long and they're not agile. Okay. Insights are trapped in spreadsheets. Today morning, I was talking to a CFO, right, of a medium-sized organization, and he's telling me his team spent 60 to 80% cleaning data, organizing data, and hardly 20 to 40% time basically creating insights and sharing with the business or on business partnering. Okay, so you can clearly see where the value is. The value is in insights and business partnering. Yet majority of the time is being spent in basically data and in processing. Okay. Plus, obviously, your businesses struggle with the fact that a lot of the data sits in various different silos and various different places like CRM, HRM, ERP. Sometimes billing systems are separate, things like that. So a lot of siloed data exists, and therefore it is very easy to misalign essentially. And then planning and reporting is disconnected in terms of the level at which planning is done, the reporting is not done at that level, or vice versa. So, it becomes really, really difficult. So these both need to be aligned as well. That's the problem we are trying to solve in today's conversation. Next one, why EPM? EPM solutions basically help you with connected planning in terms of helping you work across different functions within your business. More accurate forecasting, essentially, in terms of, you got a good bottom up, top down, and I'll show you how that works. Gives you better data confidence. This, I think, has been the overwhelming element which I have found. I've been speaking to almost 20 plus CFOs in the UK, and I've found that everybody has got data issues and data siloed issues. So this is something which I think Vena helps solve as well. They are still they still want to be in Excel even when we have implemented Anaplan and Pigment kind of solutions. People still want to go back to a Excel conversation. So Excel is still the king when it comes to people's comfort, as well as why still being in Excel. People want it to be scalable and have governance around stuff, which is all stuff which a good EPM solution should help you with, essentially. Okay. But let me be very clear. You cannot implement an EPM solution unless you are really ready for it. And this is again something which we come across when we speak to finance leaders all the time. Okay. Because what we find is they think that an EPM is going to solve their data problem or their process problem or their people problem. No, EPM is a technology which enables your people, your process, and your data. It is not a replacement of, it's an enabler of. So being ready for EPM is also very critical. You need to have strategic alignment with your leadership team in terms of clearly identify what is the purpose that the EPM solution is going to solve, deliver for you. You should have cross-functional buy-in for your other functions to provide you the input in the templates or in the EPM environment that you want them to work in. Okay. People in your FP&A team need to have the right digital mindset. So again, like this, I was talking to a CFO and he made a very, very particular comment. He's like, I'm trying to get accountants to play with data and that's not working. Okay. And that is true. I mean, you can't have an accounting debit credit mindset and then you're trying to, use an EPM solution out of it, or you're trying to do modeling with an EPM. The mindset is different. It has to be a very data mindset. So your team needs to have the right balance of accounting mindsets with basically data mindsets. Planning process needs to be collaborative and agile in terms of other teams within your business should be willing to work with you and partner with you in this process. And that is critical, essentially. Technology is your foundation. Again, I'm going to do a slide specifically on this one. So I'm not going to go much in deep, but basically having the right technology infrastructure is important. Just EPM is not going to solve your problem. So you need to have a right infrastructure of technology around it. And then the tooling selection methodology, you need to be very clear of what do you want from your tools. Okay, and then look at least 2 or 3 tools before you make a selection. Yes, today the presentation is on Vena, but we are basically tool agnostic. We don't care which tool you use. We work with almost 4, as I explained, right? I mean, I'm Vena certified, I'm Profit certified, I'm Pigment certified, I'm Manaplan certified. So again, I don't care which tool you use. I can help you figure that one out. It is important to make sure that based on your detailed requirement and your understanding, you choose the right tool set for yourself. Otherwise, you are going to really not going to be successful in this journey, essentially. EPM tools like Vena will not replace Excel, but they make your planning process and your reporting process enterprise level. Means it is scalable, more people can get involved, and much more automated. Means your FP&A resources are spending a lot more time doing business partnering, which is critical. Okay. The technology piece, which I was talking about here, right? I mean, I've got a whole slide on it. People who have attended my webinars before, they know I always do this slide, whatever tech stack I'm talking about, because this slide to me is critical for success in finance. Okay. The problem statement that we are consistently finding is there is siloed data. There is ERP, there is multiple ERPs most regularly. There is CRM or CRMs. Okay, headcount is generally in Excel or in multiple tool sets. And then there can be a whole lot of other basically softwares within the business, recording operational activity, manufacturing activity, or whatever else it is, right? The right way to go about it is then putting in some sort of a data lake or a data warehouse or Fabric or AWS or Azure, SQL. I mean, lots of stuff out there. Fabric is something which I would say is for small and medium-sized organizations. And then as you go up, there is Azure, AWS. You can go right up to Snowflake and things like that. So you can really go from very basic to very advanced, depending on where you want to go. And then again, that is my recommendation because that is your single source of truth. Okay. The top and the tail can change. So for example, your ERP can change from your QuickBooks to a Navision or a NetSuite or basically Business Central. Or if you become a really, enterprise level size, you can go into Oracle or SAP or whatever, or Dynamics or things like that. Okay. Your CRMs can change. Okay. Your EPM can change Vena to something more advanced or something more basic or whatever else. This data lake level layer is the one which helps hold these things together. And that is critical. So having this infrastructure, they makes it very, very easy for you to have a long-term risk-free finance tech stack environment. Okay. What should happen is data from all of these solutions should go into your data lake, which then feeds your actuals into your BI model and into your planning solution. And then you do your planning over here, which is also pushed again into your BI solution, which means your BI solution now gets your actuals, compares it to your plan, okay, and is able to then give you all the efficiencies that you're looking for in terms of what if scenario planning, driver-based budgeting, reporting, analytics, AI, all of that, because now you've got all of the data together. So this infrastructure is very, very critical for success of your basically finance environment in terms of tech stack. Any questions so far? Anybody wants to comment, question, add? Yes, no, make sense, disagree? Nope. Okay, cool. Let's quickly then move on. Why Vena? Vena is basically a Excel front-end company. It is essentially the only legal partner with Microsoft. Microsoft basically board sits on Vena board, and Vena board members sit on Microsoft board as well. So they are the only official partner of basically Vena and Microsoft are official partners which work with each other essentially. Okay. And most businesses where we even implement Anaplan or Pigment and things like that, most businesses do tend to come back to Excel, and they want Excel in some form for their forecasting essentially. Okay. With Excel, basically people have cognitive comfort because they've been using it for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. All your Excel IP can be brought into Vena, which is all the templates and models that you've been building over the years, essentially can be all brought into Vena for you to use. And again, obviously, powerful capabilities with Microsoft innovations that are ongoing essentially. And these are all the processes, or rather, these are some of the processes where you can use Vena in terms of expense budgeting, revenue planning, headcount planning. I'm going to show you headcount planning today, operational planning, project planning, and such like. The way Vena works is you take your source system data from your ERP, your operational systems, and your GL systems. It's all put into a KubeFlex, which is essentially a cloud-based solution which stores all this data and brings it all together. And I'm about to show you all of this in a minute. Then a process manager helps you collaborate together, and then you can have your reports in Excel or in Power BI. And you can do your budgeting in Excel essentially completely and submit into Vena. Means you don't have to keep version control or things like that. You just submit into Vena and you delete the Excel. You don't care. Vena Insights is a brilliant addition within Vena where you can have Power BI within Vena environment, which means as soon as people finish submitting their budgets, you can immediately start looking at what the numbers look like, what the output, whether they're meeting targets, whether they're within budgets and things like that. Okay. And then you can share that insights and that information on Teams, on PowerPoint, and all other environments. Plus, Vena has their own AI co-pilot as well. Okay, so that is also something which is very critical. Meaning, you can actually ask the co-pilot questions like, "What is my budget left in marketing? What is my people cost in I don't know UK versus America or things like that." You can have those kind of conversations with Copilot. Copilot will use your Kubeflex data, pull out the right strings, and give you a summary output and show you the calculations of how it does that as well. So it gives you everything you need essentially. Any comments so far, or should we go into the demo? Yep. Cool. Let's go quickly into the demo environment. Let me bring the demo environment back here. So this is what a Vena login environment looks like. I'm going to first log in as an admin because I just want to make sure that we understand the roles and responsibilities within Vena. Okay. And in Vena, you have an admin. Okay. You then have a modeler, you have a manager, contributor, and viewer. Okay. These are the 5 roles within Vena essentially. Again, they go in a decreasing order. So admin has access to everything that a modeler, everybody below them has. A modeler will not have admin access, but will have everything else. Okay. Manager, again, will not have the same access as modeler and admin, but everything below him, he will have. A contributor can see contributor insights and reports. And again, if you are a viewer only license, you will only have insights and reports. So it depends on what kind of licensing you go for and what kind of security you go with. Quick few pointers on the security. The admin's role is only to set up people on Vena, give them access in terms of roles, and give them security access in terms of, for example, only access to the marketing or only access to month-end or consolidation or HR in terms of salaries and things like that. So again, you can define what the user groups should be based on your business's organization structure and security level requirements. And based on that, we can provide the level of security to that individual. Okay. So this is as customizable as you can give somebody access to only one cost center, only one legal entity, okay, and only one currency, for example, to somebody being an absolute super user who has access to everything. So this is a very, very powerful tool. Again, anybody has used basically Power BI, then you will know this is basically very similar to Power BI row level security, essentially. It works in a very, very similar manner that you set up the roles and then you give people access based on that level of security, essentially. Okay. The manager, the modeler is the other important one where you can bring in data from various different sources, essentially, and set up models. So again, these are models set up for reporting, for consolidation, for workforce planning or whatever else. So each model has a particular role and you can bring data between models as well. Okay, so typically when we do these kind of implementations, we will start with, say, for example, a 3-statement FP&A model, and then do a separate revenue model, separate workforce planning model, which feed my FP&A model. So you can have multiple models. Again, as you can see, you can do capital asset modeling as well in terms of your CapEx planning within Vena as well. Okay, so these are 2 things which are much more admin style, high level. Though again, if you work with the right partners, then they should be your modelers. Admin should be somebody within your business who can give access and manage access. Okay. I'm about to log out of this one and go into manager role. So anybody has any questions on this one? Any comments? Anything you'd like to know? You're all unmuted, huh? You can all unmute yourself and you can basically ask as many questions as you like. No? Cool. Actually, before I move on, one thing I wanted to definitely show you. So within Vena, you have to, these are basically your model structures, essentially, which is where you can set up. These are only, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 scenarios, 8 dimensions which have been set up. You can have as many as you like. Okay. Here you can see, I'll keep opening this up and you will see the I'll get to the GL accounts essentially. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So 4,000 as a GL account is a direct revenue, which goes into revenue, goes into gross margin, blah, 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 blah. So again, this can be set up like this, but you can then have alternative roll-ups as well. Okay, so you can have dummy parents, agile planning. You can have a lot of different set of different roll-ups. So the same 4,000 account can be set up for something else as well. Okay, this is generally used for departments where you do a department, again, entity also, I think, entities, there you go. In entities where you have legal entity, OpCo, Midco, Topco, and then you can have roll-ups based on functions in terms of what function each entity is serving. For example, these are manufacturing legal entities. These are basically sales and distribution legal entities, or you can have legal entities by basically currency as well. So there is a lot of options in terms of different levels of hierarchy that you can set up. This is the way to imagine this is exactly like how you would do your VLOOKUP and you would have your reference tables. These are like your reference tables or your metadata tables, which you set up and you maintain to be able to manage your forecasting ability. Okay. Again, scenario is something also which you would want your modeler to set up in terms of how many active scenarios you have. Currently, obviously, this is basically a demo environment, so all scenarios are active, but in real life, obviously, not all scenarios are active at the same point in time. So, for example, you finish your budget and then you have your 1 plus 11 is active, then your 2 plus 10 is active, so on and so forth. So at one point in time, only one scenario should be active, not all of them, but you can still report on all of them. Okay, I'm going to log out of the admin and I'm going to go back into basically as a user. Okay, so I'm going to go into as F Jones, Frank Jones, essentially. See, as soon as I went into as Frank Jones, my modeler has disappeared, my admin has disappeared. Now I'm only a manager, so I can see manager and below, which is the contributor, and again my reports essentially. Okay, the second most intelligent thing within Vena is the process mapping that you can do within Vena. So you can set up multiple processes. Again, I want to show you this one as well very, very quickly. So for example, I can set up a process map for consolidation. Okay, I can set up a process map for planning. Okay, so you can do financial consolidation within Vena as well if you want to. And all of that is very organized in terms of I have options. I can create an input action. I can create a review action. So this is an input action. This is a review action. When you provide inputs, you submit, when I will automatically email the reviewer and say, okay, this is ready for review. The person can then accept or reject. If they reject or accept, they can add comments on it. If they reject it, it goes back to the person, to the input person, and they will get the comments and they will have to do the whole process again. Okay. There is options to report, and then there is an option for activity. And I like the activity one a lot because, for example, this is an activity. If you can see the symbol is the same. So activity means it has got sub-processes. So my Amsterdam team can plan their expenses like that, while my New York team can do a circular flow. My Toronto team can do slightly more different. Whichever way your teams want to do their forecasting, they can do it in their own little way and then still submit to you a total expense planning, for example, as a total number. Now, again, how is this useful? So, for example, your sales planning as well, how your sales planning is done in the UK versus US, and somewhere in Europe, for example, or think how your people forecast is done by in different sections, how your marketing for different product lines work. Okay. All of those are opportunities where you can leverage something like this and still have a synchronized process at a total level. Okay. How does these boxes look? Each box, as you can see, has a clear owner. Okay, so you assign owners to them. They know that this is the deadline, they need to finish it. All the forms that they need to finish are attached there. I can add instructions, I can type in instructions there. Okay. I can also attach documents in terms of PDFs. I can attach videos as well. So for example, you can do a whole video on how to fill up FX rates. Go to xe.com, take this, make these assumptions. And then based on that, whatever output you get, update the FX rates in the sheet. Fine. All of that can be put in a PDF, or it can be put basically as a video recording in here as well. So when people leave and people move on and you move on as well, the knowledge and the intelligence in the business is not lost. Everything is still there. Okay. Plus this sends out reminders basically to people based on what is due in next week or next few days and things like that. It chases up the people for you as well. So from a process standpoint, Vena and Profix, both of them have got excellent process mapping capabilities, along with all the automation of chasing up, automation of updating, automation of even letting you know that this person has submitted their numbers and things like that. So all of that is very, very, very good within Vena and Profix as well. Okay. In this environment, I'd like to quickly show you just basically at this minute, I'm only going to focus on input templates and only operating expense for this one. I was just trying this out on a demo earlier. So when I downloaded this came into my basically temporary downloads. And as you can see, because this person is a manager, has got access to all entities, okay, and all departments. This is where the admin role comes into the picture. Again, you can restrict people to a certain department, certain entity and things like that. So at the minute, I've got access to everything, but you can restrict it as much as you like. This again, at the minute is showing me budget, forecast, all your what if scenarios, all your hypothetical scenarios, whereas it shouldn't. In your admin portal, you can go and restrict it that totally. Basically, currently only budget scenario is active, or only 1 plus 10 is 11 is active and things like that. Then the team will only see that much. This is a demo environment, so at the minute you can see everything. Okay. When I apply selection, Vena is taking my selection, going to the Cube Flex in the cloud, bringing all the relevant data for that particular scenario in here. Okay. First thing I'd like to show you is this one. It has got my prior year actuals in here. It has got my November, December forecast, and it's now asking me to do basically forecast for 2024. Before I go into the forecast element, one thing which is very fantastic with Vena as a tool is essentially it helps you, it lets you drill down. So for example, in here, in all these actuals, 10,000 is a reasonably high number, right? So I want to now figure out why is this number so high. I can go in data inspection, okay, and I can go into drill transactions for my actuals, and you will see it now gives me where the 10,000 comes from. Okay, gives me invoice details, gives me vendor details, gives me quantity if there's quantity involved in this conversation and things like that. Gives you a whole lot of detail behind it. So when I am trying to now do a forecast for this line, I know what were the nuances in that month. I don't have to call up finance and ask for it. If I'm the sales team in New York, I'm not calling up anybody in finance. I've got already my answer. Okay, so that I think is a very, very useful option for you to think about. Okay, now I'm going to go into OPEX forecasting. There are, I think, 6 or 7 ways of doing forecasting of OPEX within Vena. Salaries can be done completely in a salaries people workforce planning model, as I explained to you earlier in the visual, can be completely done separately. Okay. So all that is happening is it's a different model, full security. Nobody has access to it except the relevant people who have right to see salaries. The full model is being done there. Only thing that is happening is the data from there is then coming here for me to summarize and look at what my total department cost is. Okay, so that is one way of doing your cost forecast, as in have detailed planning models for that particular cost section and only bring summarize the relevant level that you need. Okay. Second, typically as you would do inputs, right? Like, what you do currently in inputs in Excel, I can do an input 2000, 3000 or whatever, 300. So this is normal inputs. This is a second way of doing forecasting in Vena. Third, okay, I can basically, for example, insert lines. Okay, so what does that mean, Tejas? When you get inputs from people, but they just give you a total number, you don't know any details behind it. So that is not very helpful. So I call this, say, for example, promo 1, promo 2, promo 3, and I say, okay, this is going to have, I don't know, 1,000 or whatever, 10,000. This is going to have, right? This is going to be 2,000, 2,000, whatever. I'm just trying to explain. I can have different numbers in different rows. So these descriptors could have been more detailed. And now in the total summary line, I cannot do any inputs. If I'm trying to do input, it's not letting me do any inputs. But I can have a detailed input, and this doesn't destroy my template for other functions. This just means every time I select New York, sales, and budget, I will get all these details, but other function can still keep using it. So I can have a much more detailed input from my team without destroying my templates. Okay. So that is the third way of doing it. The fourth way is I am going to take. Okay. Fourth way is basically I can then type in a number. Why is this? This is typed in. No, this I can't change, right? Because this is not possible. Promotions I can change. So let me make this evenly. Yeah, there you go. This is not. This doesn't like it. So this is evenly. So now I can now put in numbers here. So for example, 10,000 is my promotion cost for next year. I clear this area. It will take the 10,000 distributed evenly, as you can see. Okay, I can also say distribute based on seasonality. It'll take last year's seasonality and it'll distribute it 10,000 seasonally. Okay, it can do non-holiday weekdays, can do it that way. So lots of options. Again, these options are limited by our imagination. It is not limited by anything else. So we can have that spreading out option as however we like. Plus, you can have linear regression in terms of, as you can see, the input element is now gone. It's taken last year's data or last few years' data and then done a linear regression of what the forecast is going to be. So this is a purely statistical model. So you can have a separate model. You can have a pure input. You can have insert line option. You can have a total annual input spread out by FTE or spread out by days. You can have a statistical option in terms of linear forecast or linear regression or things like that, or seasonal regression. Okay. You can also do basically year on year. I'm saying I'm going to do 5%. Okay. Increase or 12% increase. It does that automatically. So you have all these different ways of forecasting your cost. Plus, there is two other ways which I think are very, very interesting as well. You can, for example, have a travel expenses are being put here like this, where you've got travel details, you've got employee who's going to travel, where are they going from, to, how many nights, how much is lodging, food, blah, 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 blah. And then you're saying, okay, when are they traveling and everything else based on this, because based on your inputs, it is spreading out the cost on its own. Okay, and this is being summarized in the front. So this is really done at a much more detailed level, basically your forecast. So you can see here in the travel line, where's the travel line? Yeah, in the travel line, there is no option to input. It's saying take it from the travel tab, which is here. Okay, same with vendors, for example, legal fees, consulting fees, software fees. You can get people to forecast by vendor. Okay, you can get that level of detail and controls around it, essentially. Okay. So that is another way. Plus, you can have centrally allocated cost. So similar to this one, basically this is being forecasted somewhere else, but it's being allocated into New York and sales. So the New York sales department knows exactly what a central allocations are going to come down to them as well. Okay, so there is complete transparency from that perspective. Again, also to note is here again you will see not here. You know what, I'm going to show you this one because this one has a bit of history. So I can again have an audit trail. So it tells me who changed, what number was changed at what point in time. Okay, and I can keep a track on who is changing the number. I can also look at drill saves somewhere. Yeah, there you go, drill saves. Okay, so now it is going and reflecting back that how many people have saved this number in the past. So you can see somebody changed the number on 19th March, somebody changed the number uh, again from 0 to 9,000. So you can actually have a complete audit trail of who has provided what inputs within your planning environment. You can keep a complete track of this. Okay, I am going to run out of time. So it has a lot of options. Similarly, you can do forecasting for revenue. You can do forecasting for your balance sheet, for your cash flow, direct, indirect cash flow, everything. So again, this is a really short version of it. I'm going to quickly go into some of the reporting capabilities as well because I would like to show you some reporting capabilities. So reporting capabilities, you can see you can have a employee report, for example. So these are pre-set up reports within which you can set up for yourself within Vena. And it goes and brings data from your QFlex essentially straight out. I think this is for PPT. Wait, let me show you this one. This one is a much nicer, nicely set up demo. Okay, so let me show you that one. So now this is an executive dashboard. Okay, again, you select a bunch of options. So you can set up the same dashboard for example, all your countries or all your functions, and they can all use the same template between them. You don't have to recreate them. And as you can see, looks, I would like to think reasonably pretty. Plus you can have a full variance here. You can make changes, compare yourself to budget, for example, and things like that, and then refresh data. It'll go and get my data essentially. So you can see all variances become zero because I made budget compared to budget, which is a bit silly, but to make a point, right? I mean, again, and then refresh data. And you can put comments in there and you have all the options. So reporting can be within Excel, which again, all of us are more or less used to. It can also be within Vena in terms of insights. So let's see if this, sometimes this falls over in the demo environment. So let's see if this works. Come on. So you can have a Power BI embedded within Vena and you can look at it and you can, use this for different entity level reporting, different years, different scenarios or things like that. Also, Vena, because of which again, Vena is partners with Microsoft. So therefore, Vena has a direct connector into Power BI externally as well. So you can give people access to this Insights tab, but you can also give people access directly to your separate Power BI outside the Vena environment and have a regular update from Vena going into that environment as well. So that is an option as well. Also, I wanted to see if I can find that file because I just lost it here. Well, okay, I can't find it here. Let me go back to my home page and look at here. There you go. Again, you can also connect your data directly to essentially uh, uh, PowerPoint as well. So the way this essentially functionality works is you open on these separate tabs. So let me open this one. Like it. This is one. So what you can do is you can create what you want within your PowerPoint, within your in an Excel report for yourself to be ready. And then you will see I'll have to make a bunch of selections. Let's go. Let's go. So when I going from PowerPoint into the cloud environment and checking in terms of what are the reports requirements here, okay. So these are the two reports which are connected to this PowerPoint report. I can view the visuals, for example. Okay, so I had these graphs in there. Now I can insert this picture, insert that picture. Okay, I'm just inserting random stuff at the minute to just give you a perspective. But the point I'm trying to make is you can actually have your PowerPoint connected also to your Vena environment, where you can bring data from Vena into a PowerPoint in pretty much close to real time as well. So think you are doing your planning cycle while your teams are providing their inputs and you get updates on what inputs they are providing and everything else. You can start designing your deck for your board. Okay, you can start designing everything. And as soon as that finishes, you just have to open this and refresh. It all updates on its own. It's all ready. Okay, and then you can obviously add comments. You can add whatever you like in there. Okay, I'm just going to show. Yeah, so that is a purpose. So like from Vena, I can bring data out in Excel. I can bring it out in Power BI. I can bring it out in Teams. I can bring it out in PowerPoint. I can bring it out where I like, wherever I need to bring this out for me to consume and analyze this information. If that kind of makes sense. Okay. I am going to stop this because I am definitely running out of time. So let's go back to the presentation. Any questions from a demo perspective, anything which you are curious about? There is an AI element as well, but in this demo environment, I don't have access to the AI element, but I've got videos I can share if anybody is interested about the AI element within Vena. Any questions? Please unmute yourself and ask the questions if you have anything. Yes? No? No questions? Cool. Some of the case studies of work which we've done in the past, and we've had really like solid references from Xerox, from Unilever, from Lawyers on Demand. They're all there on my LinkedIn profile as well. And again, if you need more references, please come and talk to me. I'll happily get you references if you are interested. For this webinar, basically Vena has offered that they are giving waiving off the fees for Vena for the first 12 months. Okay, which essentially means you get 3 years of Vena subscription for the price of 2, which is almost a saving of 25 to 30K, which I think is really significant. Of course, there are conditions apply, and I will share the conditions with you. To match Vena's offer, we will take 30% of implementation, basically cost, whatever the implementation cost comes out at. Plus, we'll offer 3 Power BI reporting packs on top for free. Okay, if you sign up for Vena, and this offer is actually up to January 26th. So it's not even like I'm telling you, oh, July, you have to do this right now. No, it's not like that. You have ample time, 6 months to think about it. And if you are interested in this conversation, please come back and we'll have a conversation. This is restricted, however, by Vena to only people who are on Dynamics 365, purchase a 3-year Vena license. This is pretty straightforward. We can work through on this one. And we use the Business Central connector for Vena. Okay. This basically is sponsored essentially by Microsoft, where Microsoft has told Vena that we will pay the fees if you get more people, Business Central people, to use Vena. Okay. And for new Vena customers. So I think this is really a big change because you get a lot of savings on the license side, and plus we are happy to take off implementation fees as well. So that's a significant enough savings on a basically EPM implementation project, if that is something that is interesting for yourself. Okay, or for anybody you know. Please share this. Very, very happy for you to share this. We will be sharing the whole recording hopefully by next week, and share this across if you think somebody can benefit from this. Okay. Any questions? Just about on time, right? This was a 45-minute webinar. Any questions, comments?
Yeah. What is the average cost of implementation for Vena?
Average cost of implementation for Vena can vary from around 20 to 25K, Nadia, to 30 or 40K, depending on how complex you go. We try to keep it simple in the beginning, And we encourage our customers to do phase-wise implementation rather than try to do too much together.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. And
No problem.
another question. This was a demo for a single entity. Do you have consolidated view? Say if you have multiple, yes, entities.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Great.
yeah. I mean, Nadia, honestly, if you want a detailed demo, normal demo takes like 90 minutes. I've
Yeah.
tried
Yeah.
to
I
squeeze it
understand.
in 30. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to know this. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Multiple entities, multiple currencies, all of that works.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Thank you.
And in fact, different GL accounts as well. So if you have got more than one ERPs and you are using different GL chart of accounts as well, you can use that. We can bring that in as well.
So, you can build management accounts based on this as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And another question is, sorry, how do you ensure that your statutory accounts then do agree to management accounts?
So you can pull your statutory reports in this as well, and you can pull your management reports as well. So as long as you're able to identify which transactions are the bridge between the management pack and the statutory report, you can do both of them in here. There is an option for basically financial consolidation as well, which was not a scope of this webinar, but I can show you that separately as well. So
Yeah,
so you can do your management pack and then have all your adjustment entries to get to your statutory pack. If that,
understand. Yeah,
yeah.
great. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So if you're interested, we can do a separate whole section on that, and I can show you that. And again, it's laid out very well in Vena. So you get your management number, and then you have all your intercompany cancellations, minority interest, and everything else. And then you get to your statutory number, and it's a very nice bridge which you can visually see in Vena.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, good to know.
Yeah.
Um,
Anything else? Any other questions? Also, as I said in the previous conversation, right, that Nadia, like implementing EPM is not straightforward. So if you're looking to implement EPM, in the chat, we have shared basically a FP&A maturity assessment, which we have built. So we help businesses understand that what EPM tool will work for you based on your level of maturity of process, data, etc. Right. So if you try that one out, we will also be sharing that as an email following this webinar. So I'd highly encourage you to try the FP&A maturity assessment, because that will give you an idea of what data challenges you have, what process challenges you have, and how EPM can then fit into your structure, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had another question.
Sure.
Yeah, how do we get data into this data lake? Well,
Which data lake? You mean the data lake I was showing in this slide?
yeah.
We do that for you as well. So again,
Okay.
this data lake is not Vena. It's a separate software. Okay,
Okay.
essentially separate solution. But yeah,
This is
we implement
what I
that as well.
wanted to understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
It,
separate. Okay, fine.
yes, Vena sits there.
Yeah.
But this is what, again, so when you are a small business, like you are on a Zero or you're on a QuickBooks, right? And then you grow up and you go into Navision, or you go into basically Business Central. So
Yeah.
same way, Vena is very, very good for small to medium-sized businesses. But then as you grow bigger, you might want to go into a Profix, or you want to go into an Anaplan or a Pigment, which is an enterprise level solution. So this, again, the other day I was talking to somebody, the top and the tail changes. Your ERP changes, your EPM may change.
Yeah.
But your data lake is where you store your data.
Okay.
And that does not change.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
minimizing your business risk, because people don't realize the business risk that they are carrying because without a data lake. We have had at least 5 customers who don't have a data lake. They've moved from Sage to Business Central, and now they've lost all transaction level details from Sage. They have got the balances moved over, but the transaction detail all in Sage is gone. It's a risk. It's a business risk, right? Cool. Anything else, Nadia? Are we good?
No, I'm here. No, thank you. Thanks very much.
No problem at all. Not a problem. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.